Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm coming up with a brand new speed skill and a brand new video for Bleach. I'm gonna be speed scaling my favorite character, aka the main character, Ichigo Kurosaki, specifically from the Soul Society arc, which is the second arc of Bleach. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, drop me that like, make sure to follow me on all my socials, the links are in the description, and with all that to the side, let's get into it. I will be scaling Soul Society arc Ichigo off of the Negacion. In the manga, it was stated to be light, and that's further backed up in the data book when they refer to it again as light. But the thing about this, there's no actual statement or proof that that light actually moves at light speed. So in other words, for this scale, I'm just going to be using a pixel scale so we know how fast that light was actually moving. So the beam of light was actually calculated to be about sub-realistic plus, in other words, about 5 to 10% the speed of light. I will be leaving the link for the pixel scale speed count in the description down below, but with all that to the side, let's continue. But back to what I was saying, so this beam was calculated to be about sub-realistic plus. In other words, we were shown that Mr. Hisagi was able to dodge this beam, so this should make him about 10% the speed of light. As we know, Tozen was his captain, in other words, Tozen should automatically scale above him in speed and strength. And the thing about this is we don't know how much Captain Tozen should scale above Mr. Hisagi. We don't know if it's 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. It literally would be assumption either way, whatever number you put out. So just to keep it safe, we're just going to say bare minimum, he's at least 10% the speed of light. And as we know, Captain Tozen would scale below Kenpachi in the Soul Society arc, based off the factor that Tozen was fighting a very suppressed Kenpachi. Kenpachi, as you can see in the photo, that he clearly still has his eye patch, and as we know from the Ichigo vs Kenpachi fight, his eye patch absorbs spiritual pressure. Plus, Kenpachi was fighting in a space where he couldn't sense spiritual pressure, he couldn't heal, he couldn't see, and he couldn't smell. And as we know, he still ends up winning the fight. That means we already know he should automatically scale so much higher than Captain Tozen, someone that is already higher than 10% the speed of light. So he's so much higher than that, but we don't know how much higher. So once again, bare minimum, we're just going to keep him at least 10% the speed of light. Now we get to Ichigo Kurosaki. Ichigo Kurosaki takes on that exact same Kenpachi from the Soul Society arc. And at the end of the fight, Ichigo was actually able to match Kenpachi's speed, which means at the beginning of the Soul Society arc, he should at least be at bare minimum the 10% of the speed of light. And let's be honest now, this is clearly a lowball speed scale, because with all the amount of times I've explained that Kenpachi scales above Tozen, by now he should technically already be light speed, and Ichigo is still able to match him. Meaning by this point, he should definitely be light speed, but once again, that would be going off of assumption, and we don't know how many times he would scale above the 10% of light. But main point, at least we can say that from this point in the series, Ichigo was 100%, 10% of the speed of light. As we know, later on, Ichigo starts training to gain his Bankai. He starts training with Megetsu. Out of the start of the training, Megetsu is seen absolutely blitzing Ichigo. This would make Megetsu at least 22 times faster than Ichigo. To blitz someone, you need to be at least 22 times faster. In other words, Megetsu would be 10% times 22, which would equal 220%. In other words, he would be at least 2.20 times the speed of light. And as the training continues, Ichigo eventually starts being able to react to Megetsu and obviously ends up beating him, which is why he gains his Bankai, which would mean that base Ichigo at this point would be at least 2.20 times the speed of light. After this, Ichigo continues to fight Byakuya. Byakuya was seen easily reacting to Ichigo, so extremely low ball. Byakuya should be about 2.2 times faster than the speed of light. They both proceed to use Bankai, which is just a 5 to 10 times multiplier, meaning they should have gone a 10 times buff to all those stats. And from this statement from Byakuya, we 100% know that Bankai improves Ichigo's speed, so we can just add that 10 times multiplier. So 2.2 or 2.20, whatever way you want to say it, times 10, which would equal 22 times faster than light. And the fun thing about this is that Bankai Ichigo was able to blitz Bankai Byakuya, so you would just do 22 times 22 again, because blitzing is 22 times. And we definitely know that Bankai Bakuya's attack speed is definitely faster than Shikai Bakuya's attack speed, based off the simple fact of Ichigo easily being able to react to Shikai when he got blitzed by Bankai before Ichigo eventually turns into his Bankai form. So the 22 times 22 times multiplier is 100% valid, so we can keep him at 484 times faster than light. And to make it even better, during this arc he does holify, meaning that he would get another 10 times multiplier on top of this. We know that holification is at least a 10 times multiplier based off this statement from Tozen, which implies that holification is actually stronger than Bankai, but we don't know how much stronger, so bare minimum we can say at least 10 because a Bankai multiplier is 10, which would generally mean you would need to do 484 times 10 because we already know holification ups all your stats, which would mean that Soul Society arc Ichigo with Bankai and holification would equal 4,840 times FTL, extremely lowball, and without holification he would still be 484 times FTL. And remember, this is extremely lowball because we still don't know how much Kenpachi would scale above Captain Tozan. We don't know if it's 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and that's 100% possible because he was so suppressed by a lot. So if we knew that, that would just make the scale even higher. And what makes this even more impressive is this is only the second arc of Bleach, meaning that all the future characters we learn within the next arcs are obviously massively faster than Light. Cause common sense, those characters obviously would scale above Soul Society arc of Ichigo. That would be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.